the 14 recent mysterious and haunting archaeological discoveries that shook humanity. Hello everyone, from barren deserts to the mysterious depths beneath the earth, humanity has never stopped unearthing the past in search of truths buried for thousands of years. Yet, not every discovery sheds light on history. Some unearthed findings have left the world shocked and shaken. In today's video, we're going on a journey to uncover 14 archaeological discoveries that are as bizarre as they are chilling, each one sparking waves of controversy in the scientific community and beyond. From skeletons found in unnatural positions, to inexplicable stone coffins, to long-forgotten structures that seem to come from an alien civilization, and even mummies and fossilized animals from unimaginable places, all of these raise one haunting question: do we truly understand our own past? Brace yourselves, because what's about to be revealed won't just challenge your knowledge, it might make you question reality itself. Now, let's begin this eerie journey together. The blanket-wrapped mummy in Peru. You've probably heard of the majestic pyramids of Egypt, the resting places of countless mysteries surrounding the pharaohs. But forget those for a moment, because today, I'm taking you somewhere completely different: the mysterious land of Peru. Here, archaeologists have recently discovered an ancient tomb located at the top of the Huaca Pucllana pyramid. And what makes this discovery so special is what was found inside. Imagine this: right in the heart of modern-day Lima, there's a pyramid silently hiding a secret that's over 150 years old. And now, the door to that past is slowly opening before our very eyes. As the dust of centuries was gently brushed away, archaeologists were stunned to uncover the mummy of a woman wrapped like a bundle in a blanket, a unique form of mummification never before seen in this region. Even more chilling, surrounding her were the mummified remains of 3 children, believed to be sacrificial offerings, a grim but not uncommon ritual in many ancient civilizations. But this wasn't just another excavation. This was the first time a fully intact tomb from the Wari civilization had ever been found within this pyramid. Some experts even call it a breakthrough in our journey to understand the history of South America. So who was this woman, buried with such elaborate care? Experts believe she may have been a high-ranking figure in Wari society, a powerful civilization that thrived around the 7th century AD, long before the mighty Inca ever rose to power. The layers of cloth and vines wrapped around the mummy weren't just meant to protect the body, they carried deep spiritual meaning, serving as ritual prayers sent to the afterlife. Remember that fake head photo that's been circulating recently? Don't be fooled, it's not a real head. It's actually a symbolic wooden structure wrapped in cloth, representing the deceased. This was a common element in Wari burial customs. Inside that wrapping, there might only be dry bones, or if we're lucky, a perfectly preserved body, mummified with expert craftsmanship. It's creepy, sure, but also incredibly fascinating, isn't it? And we're not done yet. Within the tomb, archaeologists also found 11 jars of alcohol, a ceramic pot, and 6 woven bags, some of which contained corn and sewing materials, as if this woman were being sent into a new life in the afterworld, complete with everyday necessities. It's a mysterious yet strangely human detail. Right now, experts haven't dared to unwrap the mummy just yet. They're using X-rays first to avoid damaging any part of it. And you know what's interesting? This waiting period makes the mystery even more suspenseful, because who knows what other secrets might be hidden beneath those layers. 1,700-year-old ghost. Ship found with cargo, amazingly intact. Beneath the deep blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea, where sunlight barely reaches the ocean floor, a centuries-old mystery has finally been brought to light. It is the wreck of an ancient Roman vessel, a true ghost ship that sank in the 4th century AD. Remarkably, its cargo has remained almost completely intact, defying the passage of time. The excavation took place off the coast of Majorca, part of Spain's Balearic Islands. There, archaeologists uncovered hundreds of amphorae, ancient ceramic jars with round bodies, and 2 handles that were used to transport food and liquids throughout the Roman world. But what truly stunned the scientific community was the discovery of a completely new type of amphora that had never been seen anywhere before. Led by Dr. Miguel Ángel Cao Ontiveros of the University of Barcelona, the research team named this new design the Ses Fontanelles. Unlike any previously known type, the Ces Fontenelles amphorae are larger, heavier, and specifically designed to carry large quantities of vegetable oil, an extremely valuable commodity in the ancient economy. The team was able to analyze and classify 4 distinct groups of amphorae found aboard the ship. The most common was the Almagro 51C type, typically used to carry fermented fish sauce, known as garum, a Roman delicacy that resembles modern-day fish sauce. Other types included flat-bottomed amphorae for fruits, the K-19 model for storing oil, and the newly discovered Ces Fontenelles jars. What makes this discovery even more remarkable is the presence of tituli picti, ancient handwritten inscriptions, on many of the amphorae. These labels reveal not only what the containers held but also where they came from, their destinations, and even the names of their owners. Thanks to this, researchers were able to identify the individual behind the ghost ship, a man named Alunius et Ausonius, likely a wealthy merchant who owned an entire fleet of trading ships operating in the Mediterranean. This find is more than just an ancient cargo ship. It opens a new window into the Roman world of commerce, transport, and ceramic production. The discovery of a completely new type of amphora suggests the possible existence of an unknown pottery workshop that created uniquely styled products, distinct from the traditional ceramic centers of that era. Archaeologists hope to trace the manufacturing style and raw materials to pinpoint the location of this mysterious production center, potentially adding a crucial piece to the ancient trade map of the Mediterranean. Perhaps most astonishing is how well these artifacts have been preserved. Despite resting on the ocean floor for centuries, most of the amphorae remained perfectly intact, neither shattered nor decomposed. Researchers believe this was thanks to careful packing using dried grape leaves, a natural shock absorber, combined with the unique underwater conditions near Majorca, where weak currents and low oxygen levels created an ideal preservation environment. All of these findings show that the Mediterranean is not only the cradle of ancient civilizations, but also a golden graveyard for underwater archaeology. Ghost ships like this, buried by time, may hold the keys to countless secrets about humanity's past lives, trade networks, and cultures. And who knows? Hidden beneath the sand and sea may still lie untold treasures waiting to be uncovered. Perfectly preserved, mummified lion cubs, found as if frozen in time. Late last summer, in the permafrost of Yakutia, a region in Siberia, Russia, a local man named Yakov Androsov noticed a strange patch of ice near the banks of the Uyandina River. Inside the transparent layer of ice, he discovered 2 small cat-like creatures with light golden fur, appearing as if peacefully asleep. These were later identified as the mummified remains of 2 cave lion cubs, buried under ice for over 12,000 years. Incredibly, they were almost completely preserved, fur, skin, and even internal organs intact. The cubs were named Uyan and Dina, after the river where they were found. About the size of domestic cats, these cubs serve as literal proof of a long-extinct species that once roamed the Earth during the Ice Age. For the first time in modern history, humans have the chance to witness the actual appearance of cave lions, an apex predator that once dominated the cold landscapes of the Pleistocene epoch. Scientists from the Russian Academy of Sciences immediately launched a study. Preliminary analysis shows that the soft tissues and DNA of the cubs are incredibly well preserved, raising the once unthinkable possibility of cloning, although that goal remains far off. Currently, the research team is focused on examining the cubs' internal organs and genetic material to learn more about their origins and evolutionary connections. One theory suggests that the mother may have placed them in a natural pit for protection, only for a landslide to cover the entrance, trapping them in a deep freeze. Thanks to Siberia's harsh yet stable climate, their bodies remained untouched by decay, as if frozen in their final moment. Julie Meechan, a paleontologist at Des Moines University, remarked, "Usually in archaeology, the best you can hope for is a skeleton. If you're lucky, there might be some collagen left. But finding 2 completely intact individuals with fur, skin, and organs after thousands of years is incredibly rare, almost miraculous." Cave lions were first identified in 1810, and historical records suggest they roamed across Europe and Asia from about 10,000 to 300,000 years ago. Yet little is known about their population size, habitat, or whether they are closely related to modern African lions. Now, thanks to Uyan and Dina, the world has a rare opportunity to uncover the secrets buried beneath the ice, from the lives of cave lions to the brutal conditions of the Ice Age. The question remains, could these two mummies help unlock the evolutionary history of ancient big cats? And more intriguingly, might we one day see a cave lion walk the earth again? Not in a museum, but alive. The future remains uncertain, but it's a thrilling thought, isn't it? Ancient Chinese cosmetics, belonging to aristocratic women from the era of Shi. On March 12, 2025, during the renovation of a historical site in Yuankou County, Shanxi Province, China, the local Institute of Archaeology unearthed 9 ancient tombs believed to belong to a noble family from the Zhou dynasty, a civilization that existed even before the reign of Qin Shi Huang. Among the 9, 3 tombs were identified as belonging to women and drew particular attention for containing 7 intricately crafted bronze cosmetic boxes, as if they had once belonged to the most esteemed women of their time. After several months of meticulous analysis, the Shanxi Institute of Archaeology, in collaboration with professors from the University of Science and Technology of China, made a groundbreaking announcement. Residues of ancient cosmetics were found inside the bronze boxes. These included animal fat, cedarwood essential oil, curcumin from turmeric, bright red cinnabar, and carbonate minerals. If you look closely, these ingredients may sound familiar. Fatty bases for moisturizing the skin, essential oils for fragrance, turmeric for its anti-inflammatory properties, cinnabar for a reddish tint on the cheeks and lips. From this, researchers confirmed that these boxes provide the earliest physical evidence of cosmetics in ancient China. Similar discoveries had previously been made in Europe, for example, Roman-era makeup made with fat and starch. But the fact that people during the Zhou dynasty in China had their own unique cosmetic formulations reflects a highly developed sense of aesthetics and self-care. It suggests that the desire for beauty has always been a timeless human instinct. Guanxia, a well-known Chinese news outlet, even linked the discovery to a passage in Han Feizi, a philosophical work by Han Fei, a scholar from the Warring States period. He once wrote, "No amount of praise or admiration can make one as beautiful as Mao Qiang or Shi. Better to use fat and powder to enhance one's appearance." Words written over 2 millennia ago now come alive, not just as theory, but as truth unearthed from the cold soil. On Weibo, China's social media platform, netizens were delighted. One user named Akin commented, "It seems people from over 2,000 years ago were wiser than we imagined." Another user, Xiao, remarked, "A woman's love for beauty is innate, passed down through generations." One even joked, maybe someone time-traveled and brought makeup back to the Zhou dynasty. Clearly, the discovery of Zhou-era cosmetics not only astonishes us with their sophistication, but also offers a refreshing perspective on ancient women. They were not merely shadowy figures behind silk curtains. They had aesthetic taste, a right to be beautiful, and knew how to enhance their radiance, even more than 20 centuries ago. 3,500-year-old tomb, filled with treasures and thousands of gold foil pieces. In the heart of the Peloponnese, near the ruins of the ancient city of Pylos, Greece, archaeologists recently uncovered 2 royal tombs dating back 3,500 years from the Mycenaean civilization, one of the most dazzling and enigmatic Bronze Age cultures in Europe. What stunned the archaeological world was this. Inside the tombs, thousands of gold foil fragments remained scattered, glittering amid the rubble like remnants of a forgotten dynasty. These 2 tombs were built in the Tholos architectural style, a beehive-shaped tomb design reserved for the elite during that era. One tomb measured nearly 39 feet in diameter, while the other was about 28 feet wide, clear indicators of the scale and opulence afforded to powerful figures in ancient Greece. Over millennia, the domes of both tombs had collapsed in antiquity, and the fallen debris acted as a natural barrier, shielding the treasures from looters for thousands of years. Thanks to this accidental preservation, researchers discovered a nearly untouched trove. Gold-adorned wall fragments, floors bearing traces of gold leaf, gold rings, pendants depicting the Egyptian goddess Hathor, and most notably, a gold ring engraved with 2 bulls beside a barley plant, a key crop for ancient Greeks. These seemingly minor details are crucial clues, helping scholars uncover the obscured aspects of Mycenaean civilization. In addition to gold and jewels, The tombs also contained imported artifacts from across the ancient world: red carnelian, amber from the Baltic, and Egyptian quartz crystal. Such finds reveal a level of international trade far more advanced than previously imagined, showing that ancient Greece was not only wealthy but also deeply interconnected with the rest of the world. According to the Greek Ministry of Culture, this discovery is not just a treasure trove of materials, it's a living archive that helps fill historical gaps in the story of the Mycenaean civilization, which laid the foundation for classical Greece. From burial practices and architecture to artistic craftsmanship, all signs point to the tomb's occupants being more than just nobles. They were likely kings, queens, or high-ranking religious figures. Archaeologists believe this could be a transformative find, one that reshapes our understanding of early Greek civilization. Perfectly preserved, woolly mammoth remains found in ice after tens of thousands of years. In the remote Klondike region of Yukon Territory, northwestern Canada, once the heart of the legendary gold rush, miners accidentally stumbled upon one of North America's most significant archaeological discoveries while digging for gold: the mummified remains of a baby woolly mammoth, astonishingly well preserved in the permafrost beneath the frigid ground. This remarkable coincidence has transported the world back to the final days of the Ice Age, a time when colossal creatures still roamed the northern hemisphere's grassy plains. Scientists have named the specimen Nun-cho-ga, which means big baby animal in the hen language of the indigenous Trondek-Huechin people, a tribute to the land and culture that safeguarded this creature for tens of thousands of years. Researchers believe Nun-cho-ga was only about 30 to 35 days old when it died. Yet this sudden death, combined with the extreme natural conditions, turned it into the most complete baby woolly mammoth mummy ever discovered in North America. The little mammoth measured about 4 feet 7 inches long, tiny compared to the massive adult mammoths often seen in films. Despite its size, the specimen's near-perfect condition stunned scientists. Its once muscular trunk has softened but retained its shape. The hooves still show wear grooves, evidence of its first steps, and most remarkably, the signature brown woolly fur remains intact, blanketing its body as if frozen in defiance of time. The woolly mammoth, scientifically known as Mammuthus primigenius, is an icon of the Ice Age. These giants roamed the tundras of Europe and North America for more than 140,000 years. As adults, they could stand up to 11.5 feet tall, wield tusks as long as 16.4 feet, and sport thick fur up to 3.3 feet long, especially along their bellies. With small ears and short tails, these evolutionary adaptations helped minimize heat loss, crucial for survival in their icy environment. What makes Nun-cho-ga even more extraordinary isn't just its pristine preservation, but the era in which it lived and died. Alongside cave lions, wild horses, and ancient steppe ocean bison, DNA, soft tissues, and muscle samples are currently being preserved and analyzed, not only to deepen our understanding of mammoth biology, but also to tackle an even bigger question: what really happened to these giant creatures? Why did they vanish just as humans began spreading across the continents? And more importantly, could specimens like Nun-cho-ga hold the key to de-extinction technology? A concept once confined to science fiction, but now emerging as a serious scientific inquiry? Could woolly mammoths someday walk again across the frozen tundra, reborn from the fossilized memory of the Earth? 11,000-year-old child burial, unearthed in Vietnam. Have you ever imagined that right beneath your feet might lie a secret tens of thousands of years old? A clue from the distant past? A whisper from prehistory waiting to be heard? If not, let's turn back the hands of time and travel to the lush mountains of Bac Sun, Vietnam, where a stunning archaeological discovery has just come to light. At Bat Cave, a limestone cave deep within the majestic cliffs of Vu Le Commune, Bac Sun District, Lang Son Province, archaeologists have uncovered the skeletal remains of a child estimated to be 11,000 years old. Yes, you read that right, a child from the Paleolithic era, still echoing untold stories from a world long vanished. This excavation was carried out through the collaboration of the Institute of Archaeology under the Vietnam Academy of Social Sciences and the Lang Son Provincial Museum. With permission from the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, the team ventured into the depths of the cave. designated a National Heritage Site since 2004 to explore cultural layers buried for millennia. And what they found defied expectations. The child's skeleton was curled in a fetal position, a common prehistoric burial practice. The head faced north, the feet pointed south, and the face turned east, as if welcoming the first morning light. These orientations were no coincidence. They reflect spiritual beliefs, perhaps in rebirth, reincarnation, or an afterlife. Although the skull had deteriorated over time, the pelvis and limbs remained fairly intact, allowing researchers to confirm the remains belonged to a child. Even more compelling, the grave was surrounded by stone flakes, porcupine quills, and traces of a hearth, indicating that this was not merely a burial site, but also a place of living, ritual, or both. Each of these small details is a key to unlocking the mysteries of what we now call the Bok Sun culture, a prehistoric civilization that thrived on this land tens of thousands of years ago, leaving behind tools, cave dwellings, and now this enigmatic child burial. All artifacts from the excavation will be transferred to the Langsun Provincial Museum for conservation, study, and display. And who knows? From those tiny bones, scientists may one day reveal even more astonishing stories about how ancient humans lived, thought, and faced death. Today, Hangdui is no longer just a tourist stop or an anonymous cave. It has become a bridge between the present and the past, between modern people and ancient ancestors. And this journey of discovery has only just begun. The special shoes of a terracotta warrior in the tomb of Qin Shi Huang. When people talk about the famous terracotta army of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, they usually marvel at the warrior's majestic presence, lifelike facial expressions, and remarkably detailed weapons and armor. But have you ever considered that what truly astonished scientists after more than 2,000 years wasn't the weaponry or the armor, but a pair of shoes? That's right. Not the swords, not the armor plates, but the shoes of a kneeling archer, the only warrior among thousands whose footwear is fully visible, are now unlocking a new doorway into the peak craftsmanship of the Qin dynasty. The Terracotta Army, accidentally discovered in 1974 by a group of farmers digging a well on the outskirts of Xi'an, China, has long been hailed as one of the greatest archaeological wonders of the world. Life-sized statues of warriors, equipped with real weapons and arranged in military formation, stand as symbols of Emperor Qin Shi Huang's absolute power and strategic foresight, the man who first unified China in 221 BCE. Yet it wasn't until nearly half a century later that one warrior's shoes became the center of attention. A research team from Sichuan University meticulously analyzed the footwear and even recreated the shoes using the exact materials and techniques believed to be used by ancient artisans. The results were astonishing. The shoes were not only flexible and soft, but also impressively stable. The soles were woven from ramie fiber, layered, glued, stitched, and tightly compressed, demonstrating craftsmanship that rivals modern shoemaking technology. Researcher Cha Na noted that holding the replica in her hands, she could vividly imagine each needle stitch piercing through the fabric, forming clean, solid lines. The toe area had the highest stitch density, followed by the heel and midsole, an extremely rational design based on weight distribution and the soldier's movement. What's more, the absorbent material used in the heel allowed soldiers to move smoothly in wet, slippery conditions, a critical advantage on the battlefield. Clearly, these were not just shoes, but combat tools. Their balance and flexibility may have played an essential role in helping Qin's army win countless battles. They reflect a deeply strategic mindset. From weaponry and troop organization down to every step taken, everything was precisely calculated. To date, only around 2,000 terracotta warriors have been excavated, a small number compared to the tens of thousands still buried beneath the soil of Xi'an. And if even a tiny pair of shoes holds such secrets, just imagine how many more stories lie waiting to be uncovered. More than just a burial project, the Terracotta Army is a living archive of ancient Chinese society, where elite craftsmanship stood shoulder to shoulder with military might. That humble pair of kneeling shoes, once considered a minor detail, has now become a symbol of the Qin Empire's pursuit of perfection, step by step. Fascinating, isn't it? 5-ton fossil of demon-faced beast unearthed in Florida. If a time portal opened right beneath your feet, would you step through it? Imagine standing in the wild lands of northern Florida, where epic battles for survival unfolded millions of years ago. In this buried world teeming with massive beasts, one such creature has just been awakened. What would you do? During what seemed like a routine dig along the bed of a dried-up river, a research team from the Florida Museum of Natural History unexpectedly unearthed fossilized bones of a gigantic, bizarre, and almost otherworldly creature. It was a gomphothere, an ancient elephant-like animal that looked as though it had walked straight out of a nightmare. Gomphotheres weren't just distant relatives of modern elephants. They were demon-faced beasts that once roamed North America around 6 million years ago. Weighing up to 11,000 pounds and standing as tall as today's African elephants, this beast had 4 tusks, 2 long pointed ones from its upper jaw and 2 shorter upward curving ones from its lower jaw, giving it a face that was both fascinating and terrifying. If you're thinking of monsters from Hollywood movies, you're not far off. Filmmakers may have inadvertently recreated a creature that actually once roamed Earth. The excavation site, named Montbrook, is a natural fossil graveyard, a place where past and present collide through ancient layers of soil. It was here that Dean Warner, a retired chemistry teacher, stumbled upon the fully intact remains of what's now known as the king gomphothere. What's remarkable is that the massive skeleton remained in a natural resting pose, as if the animal had simply lain down and never gotten up again. A peaceful death preserved under the earth for millions of years. This is not just the largest gomphothere skeleton ever discovered, but also one of the most complete fossil specimens of its kind in the world. Its skull measures over 8.9 feet long, and it stood nearly 8.2 feet tall, like a living tower that once dominated the ancient wilderness. But why were so many gomphotheres and other animals found concentrated in this one place? Scientists hypothesize that, much like modern elephants, aging individuals may have returned to familiar watering holes to die. Over thousands of years, repeated floods may have layered the remains of generations of animals atop one another, forming a multi-layered fossil cemetery, a kind of stone-etched chronicle of Earth's prehistoric past. So yes, to say that the king gomphothere is more than just a fossil isn't an exaggeration. It is a witness from the depths of time, telling the tale of a world that existed long before humans, one of staggering complexity and raw survival. The 2,000-year-old butter ball. You probably never imagined that a lump of butter could survive for 2,000 years, right? But in this mysterious world, anything is possible. Picture yourself standing in a damp Irish bog where lush green grass thrives and the air is thick with the breath of history. Suddenly, you stumble upon a strange object, something that looks like a giant potato, but in truth, it's a ball of butter. A butter ball weighing nearly 22 pounds, something so unexpected that its survival through millennia is nothing short of astonishing. The story began when a turf cutter named Jack Conaway was working in the Mlag bog and came across this peculiar lump. At first, he may have assumed it was just an odd clump of earth or rock, but upon closer inspection, he realized it was a strangely preserved piece of butter. So how could a piece of butter survive for so long? And what exactly is it? This butter ball was no ordinary food item. Made from cow's milk, it has a strong smell, far more pungent than cheese, which might make many people wrinkle their noses. Estimated to be up to 2,000 years old, this butter has been on an extraordinary journey, much of which still remains a mystery. But one thing is certain, not everyone gets the chance to witness such a bizarre and rare artifact. The answer to how it survived lies in the preservation methods of the past. In ancient times, before refrigeration existed, people devised a highly creative method to store butter, burying it underground. But not just anywhere. They chose bogs, which provided a cool, low-oxygen environment. These exact conditions helped prevent the butter from spoiling. With no salt and no refrigeration, the mud and oxygen-poor surroundings preserved it in surprisingly good condition. Even more intriguing, archaeologists have discovered that these ancient butter balls were often buried not just in random locations, but at intersections between ancient kingdoms. These areas were considered sacred ground, no man's land, where trespassing was forbidden. This has led to speculation that the butter may have been buried not merely for preservation, but as offerings to the gods. In addition to butter, archaeologists have unearthed jars of cheese dating back to between 400 and 350 BCE. Amazingly, Although these dairy products were buried for centuries, they still retain their original shapes, though their taste, of course, would be nothing like what it once was. So even after thousands of years, this butterball remains a rare and fascinating artifact, sparking curiosity and imagination about the past. What do you think about a 2,000-year-old butterball? It might be a gift from time itself, or simply a testament to ancient creativity and ingenuity in food preservation. Whatever your interpretation, to me, it's still an unsolved mystery. And perhaps stories like these will continue to draw us into the depths of history and the strange wonders of our world. The ghost ship stranded in the desert. Amid the vast, endless desert, it's hard to believe your eyes when you come across a ghost ship basking in the sunlight. In reality, these ships are the haunting remnants of a bygone era, when the Aral Sea in Uzbekistan was a prosperous fishing hub, bringing wealth and vibrant trade to surrounding communities. Today, if we measure time on a cosmic scale, only a few days have passed, yet entire stretches of this once mighty sea have vanished. The fish are long gone, and all that remains are rusting, sorrowful shipwrecks. The Aral Sea was once one of the largest inland bodies of water on Earth, covering nearly 27,000 square miles. Now, it has shrunk to just around 1,900 square miles, fragmented into 4 smaller lakes. Despite being called a sea, it was technically a lake, but one of the largest the world had ever known. The Soviet Union once aimed to harness this water source to irrigate the surrounding desert for cotton and other crops. This massive irrigation effort began in the 1940s and profoundly impacted the Aral Sea. By the 1960s, water levels were dropping by about 8 inches per year. By the 1970s, the rate had increased to 24 inches per year. In the 1980s, water withdrawals intensified, and the lake's water level dropped by a staggering 35 inches annually. Eventually, the lake, or sea, was no longer able to give anything at all. This collapse spelled disaster for local communities, as both agriculture and the once thriving fishing industry faced total ruin. In 1991, following Uzbekistan's independence from Russia, water mysteriously began reappearing. However, a new problem emerged. Excessive use of chemical fertilizers had rendered the remaining water toxic, posing serious health risks to local residents. Illnesses such as tuberculosis and cancer became more prevalent. Since 2005, intensified efforts have been made to restore the Aral Sea's former glory. A dam was planned to help raise water levels, reduce salinity, and revive life in the ecosystem. However, more time is still needed to repair the damage that UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon once described as one of the worst environmental disasters of our time. The mystery of Mohenjo-Daro, the Mound of the Dead. Mohenjo-Daro, also known as the Mound of the Dead, is one of the oldest and most mysterious cities ever discovered by mankind. It carries with it countless tales of prosperity and a sudden, unexplained disappearance. And if you think history is just a series of dry facts, Mohenjo-Daro will make you think again. Located in Sindh province, Pakistan, Mohenjo-Daro was once one of the major centers of the ancient Indus Valley civilization. A magnificent city, it was built around 2600 BCE, contemporary with ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Surprisingly, it wasn't until 1922 that this city was discovered. And since then, the mysteries surrounding Mohenjo-Daro have only deepened. Why is it called the Mound of the Dead? The answer goes beyond just its name. It lies in the city's sudden and unexplained vanishing. Mohenjo-Daro was once a thriving metropolis, home to about 35,000 residents. They built a community with an organized road network and an underground drainage system so advanced that many modern cities today still lag behind. And remember, all of this was accomplished over 4,000 years ago. Of course, what makes Mohenjo-Daro truly special isn't just its prosperity, it's the city's unique architecture. Unlike many other ancient cities that were built with stone, the structures here were made of baked bricks. This demonstrates that the people of Mohenjo-Daro had architectural and technological skills far ahead of their time. They didn't just know how to build durable structures, they also prioritized comfort and sustainable urban development. But what caused such a beautiful and advanced city to disappear so abruptly? That's the question archaeologists have yet to answer convincingly. For decades, researchers have worked tirelessly to decode ancient seals with hieroglyphic symbols and uncover traces of early life. But to this day, no single theory has been widely accepted to explain Mohenjo-Daro's fall. Some believe that a natural disaster, like an earthquake, flood, or sudden climate shift, may have buried the city in oblivion. Others suggest it may have been completely destroyed by an invasion from another civilization. Whatever the cause, Mohenjo-Daro retains its unsolved mystery. It stands as one of the most captivating stories in human history, one that inevitably comes to mind whenever we speak of ancient civilizations. By now, you're probably wondering, what really happened to Mohenjo-Daro? What exactly caused its disappearance? The truth is, we may be a long way from finding out, because the city holds so many secrets that even the most renowned scientists are still at a loss. The giant rift in Africa. We are living on a planet that is constantly changing. Every day, the Earth moves in ways that we often don't notice immediately. But sometimes, those changes are visible and dramatic, demanding our attention. One of the most astonishing recent changes is the emergence of a giant crack in southwestern Kenya, a sign that the African continent may be starting to split in two. Imagine a crack stretching several miles long and tens of yards wide, suddenly appearing and damaging a major highway that connects Nairobi and Narok. Even more unsettling, this rift came with seismic activity, turning the area into a geological hotspot. It forces us to consider, is this evidence of a grand tectonic process tearing Africa apart? Earth is not a static planet. Beneath its surface, tectonic plates are constantly shifting, creating rifts, volcanoes, and earthquakes. One of the most active areas on Earth is the East African Rift Zone, a region where this process is most intense. Stretching over 1,800 miles from the Gulf of Aden in the north to Zimbabwe in the south, the East African Rift is where the African plate is slowly splitting into two, the Somali plate and the Nubian plate. Scientists estimate that in about 50 million years, Africa will no longer be a single unified continent, but will divide into two distinct landmasses. But what's fascinating is that signs of this division are no longer just theoretical, they're already visible. The giant rift in Kenya is one of the clearest indicators, showing that the continent is separating at a rate of roughly 1 inch per year. Geologists like David Ahedi, a specialist based in Kenya, believe this rift is accelerating due to increased volcanic activity, especially from Mount Suswa. Located in the Great Rift Valley, Mount Suswa is driving significant changes, helping the tectonic plates move apart more rapidly. But why does any of this matter to us? Let's take a look back in time. About 138 million years ago, a similar event took place. The South Atlantic Ocean formed when South America split from Africa. At that time, these two continents were once one, and as they separated, their coastlines fit together like puzzle pieces. Even today, the matching shorelines of South America and Africa are a clear sign of that ancient tectonic split. So, could the same thing happen to Africa in the future? Could we witness the formation of a new ocean, separating the Somali plate from the rest of the continent? While we can't say for sure, the movement of tectonic plates serves as a vivid reminder that Earth is always changing, and that we are just a small part of its vast and dynamic story. The story of the giant rift in Kenya is more than just a fascinating geological event. It's a powerful reminder of the planet's mystery and wonder. Will we witness such monumental changes within our lifetimes? That is certainly a question worth pondering. Fossil of an ancient crocodile, the size of a bus. Paleontologists in Tunisia have made a groundbreaking discovery in the scientific community. They found the fossil of a giant ancient crocodile species that had never been known before. This is not just an ordinary crocodile, but a real monster that measured over 30 feet in length and weighed nearly 600 pounds, with a skull more than 5 feet long. The species has been named Machimosaurus rex, a name that both invokes the might of ancient crocodiles and reminds us of the dominators in the food chains of that era. And just as the researchers describe, Machimosaurus rex was indeed a giant and terrifying predator. According to Federico Fanti, the lead researcher and expert from the University of Bologna, this crocodile was very large, almost the size of a bus, and it surely stood at the top of the food chain of its time, at least in the area that is now the Sahara Desert. So, what makes this discovery so significant? The scientists didn't just find the bones of this crocodile. They also uncovered a large portion of fossils in the region near the edge of the Sahara Desert, Tunisia. This is a region famous for its rich fossil deposits, which was once a vast lagoon connected to the sea. In addition to the crocodile bones, the researchers also found bones from fish and turtles, confirming that this area was once home to a variety of marine life. With its enormous size and incredible strength, Mohenjo-Daro rex was a skilled underwater hunter, capable of ambushing prey quietly or hunting animals that drifted along with the current. Based on the characteristics of its skull and teeth, scientists believe this crocodile had a powerful bite, capable of crushing the bones and flesh of its prey, especially turtles, which would have been a prime meal for it. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this discovery is the major shift it brings in our understanding of the history of life on Earth. Prior to this discovery, scientists believed that the group of crocodiles to which Mohenjo-Daro rex belongs had gone extinct around 150 million years ago, at the end of the Jurassic period. However, the new fossils show that this species survived for an additional 130 million years, beyond the mass extinction event that wiped out many species at the end of the Jurassic period. This finding has sparked an intense debate within the scientific community. Is the theory of the mass extinction truly accurate? In response, researchers suggest that we need to revisit the hypotheses regarding life before and after the mass extinction, particularly through discoveries like Mohenjo-Daro rex. This opens new doors for the study and understanding of Earth's distant past. Mohenjo-Daro rex may not only be a giant ancient creature, but it also serves as a mirror, reflecting the secrets of the past that are yet to be fully uncovered about the history of life on our planet. When we look at this fossil, we're not just seeing a giant crocodile, but a part of the past that science will continue to explore. Dear friends, thus we have explored the strangest and most chilling archaeological discoveries that have shocked the world. These mysteries not only challenge what we know about history, but also make us ponder the things that remain undiscovered. Could there still be many hidden secrets within ancient civilizations? Or have we only scratched the surface of a great mystery? Stay tuned to the channel to not miss out on the next exciting discoveries. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to join us on future adventures. But for now, goodbye and see you soon.